Welcome to my channel, guys. Maryam here. In today's video, I'm reviewing the new Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Palette. This is a brand new product that I just got in the mail. I showed it in my unboxing on IG, and a lot of you guys seem to be interested in it. I am interested in it as well. So today I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna give it my first impression, my verdict, Team Truth style, and of course, a wear test at the end. Now, I'm not just gonna be talking about this particular product. I'm also gonna be mentioning Makeup Forever's Ultra HD stick, as well as their classics, such as the Ultra HD powder and their new concealers. If you are interested in all of that, then make sure you are subscribed and that you are hitting that notification bell so that you can see all of my videos. Leave me your comments and questions down below. Let your thoughts be heard. Let your voice be heard. Team Truth, I'm here for you. Let's do this. Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Palette Review and Verdict. Diving right into the wonderful world of Makeup Forever. So what this foundation palette is a 12 pan sample size of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation, which is a great formula. I've tried it before and I love it a lot. I don't love it as much as the Hourglass Vanish Stick, more on that later, but I'm not going to assume that this is the exact same formula. I'm gonna treat it as a first impression. I'm gonna apply it on my face as if I had never tried this product before. I gotta put it to the test and I gotta get my own Team Truth on it. I don't believe anyone, I only believe myself. This palette is $110, kind of pricey, and it's got 2.5 grams in each of the 12 pans, whereas the Ultra HD Stick Foundation is $43, and I believe it's got about 12.5 grams. The reason why they created this type of palette is because I think it would be perfect for a traveling makeup artist or a makeup enthusiast who needs all these colors, so you can basically mix your own shade, or also sculpt, contour, highlight, and do all of those things at once. The palette is really cute. It's very small, very sturdy. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but not too heavy, so it's the perfect travel palette, especially if you are in between shades or if you tend to go up and down in your skin tone. So for example, if you like to self-tan or if you tan much darker in the summertime than your normal skin tone, this would probably be a great option for you. So now the way that Makeup Forever foundation shades work in both the foundation and the stick is simple. They have two undertones, R for red and Y for yellow. So here it's the same thing. We've got an equal amount of yellow and red undertones represented here, as well as a white, so that you can lighten your color. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a wear test. Make sure you stick around until the end of the video for the verdict and for the final reveal to see how this product looks on my face after a few hours of wear. Let's get to applying this Makeup Forever Ultra HD palette of foundations on my face. First and foremost, I'm going to use the STRIVECTIN Anti-Wrinkle Line Blurfector Blurring Primer. This one is actually a really good one. I don't have wrinkles, but I do have pores and I do have uneven texture, especially when I break out, so it helps smooth that. I think the wrinkle primers are even better at smoothing minor skin texture problems like acne, like bumps. So I'm a fan of this one. Whew, I'm a little flushed right now because I just came back from running outside with Lee. He thought that was a really great idea. That was his way of spending quality time with me. Not mine, but you know, it's his birthday week, so that's the only reason why I did that willingly. Here we have the 3 yellow shades. This is another yellow, this is another yellow, and 2 more yellows. The rest are red shades. They have the Y365 Desert, which is the one that I use for my Ultra HD liquid foundation, but I don't know, somehow it seems rather tan for my current complexion, so I'm gonna step it down a notch and I'm gonna use this Y225 Marble as my all over shade. Oh yeah, this is light. This is muy light. All right, let's go for the 365. Definitely a little bit better, but I feel like I might need to mix these two together. Let's go for the 315 Sand. That one's too light as well. Let's do some swatches. I'm gonna start with the white and then just go up the numbers to Y20 Alabaster and so on and so forth. So now that I have all of these swatched, I think I am in fact a Desert Y365 shade, but it's not precise, so I will definitely have to mix it with the marble, or maybe with a little bit of sand. I don't know. This is fun and kind of confusing, but I'm gonna try it out. I also think that this deeper shade is just not as deep as a shade that deserves to be in this palette. I think we need something much deeper and darker than this in order to be able to mix a foundation shade that's truly for everyone. Unless this is like the medium to tan range. I wonder if they have the same palette for deeper skin tones. If not, they definitely should. I'm gonna add a smidge of that lighter shade. And yeah, that actually does look like a much better match. So I'm gonna be using these two together. I'm gonna dot both of them all over my face with my finger. Well, this is definitely different from the stick in the sense that I'm not exactly sure what brush to use with it, but I'm just gonna use my intuition. And then I'm gonna add a few less dots of this one. And then I'm gonna use my Hourglass foundation stick brush to basically blend this out. Now I mentioned earlier that I don't love this Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick foundation more than the Hourglass Vanish stick foundation. And that's only because the Vanish stick foundation looks a lot more natural on the skin. The Ultra HD by Makeup Forever probably looks better on camera because it is specifically made for HD TV. However, in person, I find that the stick foundation looks like makeup. So for me, it wouldn't make sense to travel with this one and be fresh off the plane with a full face of makeup. I would prefer the Hourglass type of finish. Well, this is definitely blending out very easily. It's actually kind of similar in texture to that Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation that I reviewed in my previous video. If you haven't checked that out, whew, girl, there was some tea spilled in that video, so you gotta watch it after this one. You can also probably sheer this foundation out by adding some type of a serum, perhaps a Farzali, perhaps a glow recipe, or some type of mixing medium. It is highlighting a couple of my dry spots here and there, which is annoying. You know what? I actually think it applies rather nicely with just your fingers. So if you're someone who enjoys applying foundation with the fingers, then you might probably find this very intuitive and very simple to use. But I am someone who likes to use brushes, so this is not my ideal method. Definitely think this becomes a lot easier to do with the stick, right? Now the cool thing about this palette is that you could also contour and highlight, aka sculpt your face with all of these different colors. I think for sculpting and for highlighting my high points, I'm gonna use this peachier shade on top. So I'm gonna apply that to all the areas that I want to highlight and bring out, and also color correct, like under my eye, like around my nose, between the brows. Yeah, let's contour. I'm gonna use this shade here, which is Y505 Cognac. I don't want to go for a super deep contour. I want it to still be on the warmer side. I want it to be believable, and I don't want it to be too drastic. So I'm sticking to a color that's not too off from what I normally would contour with, and it's also going to serve as my bronzer. I am gonna mix it a bit with this cooler shade here because I want to create shadow under my lip and also create that lovely, ever so popular mustache contour. You know the one. I'm gonna contour along my jawline just to emphasize that bitch. And now it's time for a thumbnail face. I'm gonna use my same Hourglass brush to blend out the contour, basically just stippling it in and blending with the previous layer. You guys, I usually never contour or bronze up this heavily. I'm doing this for the review so that we could really test out all the capabilities of this palette, but holy crap, I actually have somewhere to go after, and I need to make this look good. All right, so now that I've blended out all the larger areas, I'm gonna use a small brush for the smaller areas and also my beauty blender. And then for the lighter areas, I am gonna use my beauty blender. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of using a cream concealer under my eyes. I always prefer a liquid concealer such as the Shape Tape, but I will mention that Makeup Forever does have this new Ultra HD concealer that I kind of want to test out in this video, but I don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this review, so I'm gonna put this one aside even though I really don't want to. But definitely let me know if you want me to review this concealer in another video. Cool thing about this product is that it does in fact set kind of matte and dry. Although it first goes on really creamy and it feels kind of greasy to the touch, it does seem to set. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I actually look better in the mirror than I do in my monitor over here. So that's a really interesting feature. I do have my usual Laura Mercier, and I also have the Makeup Forever Ultra HD as well as their original HD powder. These look the same, but they're actually very different. The Ultra HD is made in France, and it's a micro finishing loose powder. The HD is not Ultra, and this one is made in Japan. So this one is a previous version of the Ultra HD. I love them both. These setting powders are not for baking. No, sir. The flashback on this powder is some type of crazy. Instead, what this is actually a smoothing and perfecting powder. So the way that you apply it is the following. Pick up a little bit of product on the brush, tap off the excess, and then you actually beat this brush down. I like to hit it on the tabletop so that the powder gets inside the fibers, and then you just smooth this over the areas that you want to smooth out. So this is great for those of you who have wrinkles or who have little fine lines. This is also great for those of you who have little micro, or maybe not so micro, acne breakouts. It really does help. Now I'm gonna pick up my Laura Mercier, which is a setting powder in the traditional sense. This is what you use to fix your makeup and make it last longer. So this is the powder that I'm gonna use under my eyes and on top of the smoothing powder, AKA the Ultra HD. That way we have the best of both worlds. We have the smoothing and we have the setting. And we are not going to be flashing back like a White Walker. Nope. I am feeling very sculpted at the moment. A little bit more sculpted than I like. I'm also not crazy about the way that my under eye is looking. Might have to fix that before I go out. This is the skin. Here's what it looks like. And now let's see how it wears and let's see how it looks all together with the rest of my face. I went ahead and got myself to look a pinch cuter than before. Some brows, some mascara, some lips, some highlighter. And now let's zoom in and let's observe this face. Overall, I think the foundation looks pretty darn flawless. It looks very professional, very ready to go, very sculpted, very chiseled, and definitely very full coverage. Up close, you can definitely still see some imperfections. For example, this area right here where the foundation is clinging to my dry spot. It's also happening right here and right here. So keep that in mind. Having said that, also keep in mind that no one's going to be that close to your skin from a normal human distance in the mirror that I have in front of me. Overall, it looks really great. So let's see how it wears and let's get to that verdict. Cue in some warping music here. Okay guys, back in my filming room after about 6 hours of eating, drinking, watching Game of Thrones, and it is now 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm super duper tired, but I had to wait until 2 because I wanted to give you a full 6-hour wear test. So this is what the skin looks like at this point. I actually think it looks pretty damn decent. It looks pretty good. I would even go as far as saying that I think it looks better than when I first applied it on. Yes, I know it's not as fresh, so there's definitely some oil slicks here and there, but I feel like it looked a little bit too dry and a little bit too unflattering in my imperfect areas, such as my breakouts and my bumps and some acne scars here. It was just emphasizing them a little too much. So now that it's had a chance to blend with my oils and melt a little, I feel like it looks a little bit more natural and I'm not mad at it. So I would say that the foundation pans in this palette are similar, if not the same formula as this stick foundation. However, I do think that it is much easier to use the stick foundation and kind of just apply it on straight from the tube. That way you get maximum pigment and it's much easier to apply it exactly where you want it and then blend it out with a brush. If you are not a makeup artist, but you still love this formula, I would suggest go for the stick foundation. That will be your best bet. However, if you are someone who travels a lot, if you are a makeup professional, or if you like contouring and sculpting and highlighting with cream products, then this palette is definitely for you. For me and for my preference, I would probably only use this to kind of conceal and brighten and add bronzing and contouring and sculpting. So I wouldn't necessarily use this as an all-over foundation. Although I get the point for makeup artists, I understand that it's very flexible and you can create your own shade. I'm just not that girl. So I would give this product an 8 out of 10. I think it's cute. I even think the value is not bad. I just don't think that it is a product that is for the average everyday makeup consumer. That is my opinion and that is what I am going to stick to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for sticking until the end. I will see you in my next one. Check out some of my other videos while you're here. I love you so much. Mwah.